We're going to make a folded origami flap card today. It is easy to make and wait until you see what this does when it opens. You're going to find a free template in today's project sheet that's linked down in the video description for you below. Hi, and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I'm Lisa Curcio. You are going to love this card and don't miss that project sheet. Not only is it going to contain pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies for the card I just shared with you, but I have several other samples for you as well. All right, we're ready. Let's get started. We're going to start with the base of the card. This is basic black cardstock. It measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have other samples for you that are going to show you a full-size card base and other orientations as well. This comes from the Bloom Boutique Designer Series paper package. This is the side I'm going to be using, so I'm going to add some liquid glue around the perimeter. This is measuring 4 by 5 1/2. That will get adhered here, leaving a margin on both sides. Next, I have a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 3 1/2 by 9 inches, and we are going to score it at 3 1/2 inches. So I'm going to line that up against the straight ledge here at the top, and at the 3 1/2 inch mark, I'll use that light blade for scoring. I'm going to fold up on that crease line, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to reinforce that score line. And this is basic black cardstock. That measures a 1/2 inch by that 3 1/2 inch width. And of course, you can make this a little bit wider or narrower if you'd like. I'm putting glue on the inside flap of the card. And the easiest way I found to do this is to lay it right here on top of your work surface. I am using the silicone craft sheet underneath me. That's going to catch any excess liquid glue so that it keeps it off my work surface. Once that it's adhered, you'll see that we've got that nice bordered edge. On the inside of the card, we're going to stamp our greeting or sentiment. I'm using Memento Black ink for this, and I've pulled out the greeting, Happy Birthday, and that'll get stamped here. The greetings are all coming from the Scalloped Blooms stamp set. Love those beautiful fonts. And of course, you've got greetings for both the outside and the inside of your cards. This now is going to get attached here to the front of the card base. We're going to flip that upside down with it creased, and we're going to add liquid glue around the outside perimeter. With the card folded, I'm going to put the seam at the very top of the card base. I'm looking to border that Designer Series paper. I'm going to lift it because I want to make sure that I've got it shimmied all the way down before the glue sets. This in itself is a great fun fold card. I'm going to add a small decorative piece here at the bottom, and then we'll work on the origami piece that goes here on the top. From the Artisan Sketch Designer Series paper, I love it. There's beautiful black and white images of different types of flowers. You can see that I've cut one out ahead of time. I did use alcohol-based Stampin' Blends markers to color the flower, and then I used my scissors to cut it out. Now, my tip for you about this is just to make sure that you leave a little bit of white paper showing all the way around your image. That's going to make sure that you don't impede on the design and make it look a bit distorted. I am going to add the floral image here to the bottom, but I wanted to play up a little bit more texture. Now, this is completely optional, but I absolutely love metallic threads. They are very thin and very delicate, and I wanted to span the length of my image. So I'm going to pull off some here from the spool. I'm going to start with the tail here at the bottom. I'm going to separate my fingers. I'm going to wrap it around several times. How far you go and how much you put on is completely up to you. Putting my fingers together, I'm going to shimmy that thread together, and I'm going to pinch it in the middle. I've grabbed my scissors, and I'm going to snip that end. Now, there's lots of ways you can do this. Obviously, you can tack it down with a glue dot, or in my case, I'm going to use a dimensional. So I'm just looking to create some uneven loops. So I'm going to pull some in either direction. The easiest way for me to do that while I have it in place is just to use that Take Your Pick tool with that paper piercing tool attachment. I have a small piece of dimensional here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to anchor that down. With the threads in place, I can come over and I can flip it around and just kind of fan those out the way I want them, and then just snip off the other end. I'm going to use those leftover dimensionals that I've got here on that paper backing, and I'm going to attach those here now to the back of the image. Now that I have all those pieces intact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove those paper backings using that Take Your Pick tool. That paper piercing tool attachment is like a third hand, and it allows me to remove those little backings quickly and easily. With the backings all removed, this now is going to go here at the bottom section. I'm looking to make sure that I don't impede on that little flap here. So I'm going to move this down as far as I can and tip this image if necessary to make sure that it fits. With those pieces in place, now let's go ahead and work on the origami fold. This designer series paper is from the same package that we just did the flower from. It's called Artisan Sketched Garden, and it is double-sided. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create some score lines. I'm going to use the dark side just for the sake of the video. You're going to want to score at about 1.5 inches. Now I say about because I have found that if I'm very precise in my scoring, you're going to have a very tiny gap in the middle. So I'm going to take this to 1.5 inches here, making sure it's straight, and I'm going to scoot it over just a hair, and then we are going to score with the light blade. We are going to do this on all 4 sides. So I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to go to 1.5 and just scoot it over just a smidge, and then score again. And we're going to rotate this now and do this again on each of those remaining sides. I've just taken a silver colored pencil. I've gone ahead and I've gone over very crudely where the scored lines are, and I put an X over the areas we're going to cut away. If you are very proficient with your paper trimmer, you can certainly do it that way. I do like with darker paper to go over those score lines. With the score lines in place, it's a little bit easier for you to follow. I like a long tipped pair of scissors for this, and all we're going to do is cut out the corners. So I'm going to come right up here on the score line, and I'm going to snip, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And we're going to turn this and do all of the remaining X's. When you're finished, it should look like this. I'm going to turn this upside down, and we're going to add a little bit of color to this. Now, of course, this is optional. I'm protecting my work surface with the large grid papers, and I'm going to be using a blending brush and the crisp cantaloupe ink. And this is the beauty of Stampin' Up! Products, of course, is the color coordination. Now, I personally do not like to put my blending brush right inside the ink pad. It sucks up too much ink, it brings it too far down on my bristles, and I find it's a waste. Instead, I like to create a palette using my clear block. So I'm going to tap that inside my ink pad. I'm going to load up my brush with the color from the acrylic block. I always like to check the consistency to make sure that it's not too dark. I'll use some light circular motions, and I'm going to add some color randomly here on top of the designer paper. I'm going to place my silicone craft sheet underneath me so you have a contrasting color. You're going to want the side most prominent facing down. So I want the polka dots to be most prominent. You're going to take the top flap and you're going to fold it in. What you're looking to do is take this straight edge to meet up with this straight edge. I'm going to very carefully curl that paper and bend it. So now the edge of this is meeting the edge of the designer series paper here at the top. That will naturally find the center. And then you're going to want to reinforce that with your bone folder. Since I made my fold on the right, all of them will need to be on the right. So we are going to pivot it to the right, and the next fold is going to come down, and then once again, we're going to do the right corner. So this edge to the corner up here, and then once you've got it creased, go over it with your bone folder. We're going to pivot it to the right, again here at the top, fold it down, and we're going to fold it back on top of itself. So again, the top edge to the top edge of the designer series paper, the dark pattern, and crease. Now we have one more to go, down, and of course that little triangle here in the corner. This is very forgiving, so if it's not perfect, don't worry. When you're all finished, you're going to have these panels with corners that have been bent. We're going to decorate the inside before we go ahead and put this together. So from that same stamp set, I added a sentiment. This is from the designer series paper again. I colored it and used my scissors to cut it out and just glued it on. We're going to take this and we're going to add some liquid glue to the back side. With the flaps open now, this is going to get centered within the inside square. So flat, 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 and then this one is the last one. It's going to have to get tucked underneath here. So I'm just very carefully going to bend that paper and tuck it. Make sure you have the direction going the right way, because we are going to flip it over and we're going to add glue right to the outside. And of course, I'm going to be more generous this time because I know this is an origami fold and I want to make sure it's well stuck. Don't pivot the paper, otherwise your inside sentiment is going to be crooked. And this is going to go right here centered on that top white panel of cardstock. Once you have it where you want it, go ahead and give it a good press in place. My final step for this specific card was to add an embellishment. And for this one, I'm going to be using the Pearls of Beauty, and I'm going to be using these beautiful white iridescent pearls that are here. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'll pick up one of the large ones. I like to anchor the bigger ones near the bottom, and I'll take a smaller one here near the top and another one here off to the side. And there you have it, your folded origami flap card. Plenty of room to write underneath the happy birthday, and of course, if you need more area, there's area here. If you need another panel, you can add it to the back side, but wait until you see these other alternatives I have to share with you. This next one uses the Fern and Flora suite. So it's a whole bundle of products that come together. The coordinating designer series paper, there's a beautiful embossing folder, of course, stamps and dies. You can buy them all individually, of course, as a suite. This one I've changed the orientation to. So unlike this one where it's vertical, straight up and down or portrait, this one is horizontal or landscape. That beautiful Moonlight Flora Designer Series paper is housed here. I'll open up the flap, and I've used a beautiful shaped die here for the inside layer. I've layered up my dies together. This next one uses the Balloon Festoon Bundle. I make more birthday cards than anything all year round, and I knew I had to have this. I've also paired it with the Swirls of Magic embossing folder, which are great for celebrations. And here's the card I created. I used the Splash of Sprinkles Designer Series paper, but I want to call your attention to something. You see the little square here opening in the middle, which is different on these other two cards. And that is because I measured it perfectly at 1 1/2 inch. If you love that little square opening, which mimics the shape of the origami fold, don't worry about it, leave it. But I wanted to make sure they met in the center, which I like more of that pinwheel image. So just make sure that you scoot the paper over just a smidgen, past the 1 1/2 inches to get that closure just right. This time I used some silver foil here on the edge to pick up the silver foil and that beautiful specialty paper. And on the inside of the card, I have Enjoy Your Day with my balloons. But unlike these cards, I added this to an entire card base. So we have a 4 1/4 by 11 card base here that gives you a lot more room to write and sign. So inside of this one, you'll find that I have Happy Birthday. And one of the other things I love about this is, guess what? A gift card fits perfectly inside of here. Just adhere it with a couple glue dots, and it's a great way for you to decorate your card and give a gift all in one. The inside of this card I failed to share with you, but I want to show that I used the same labeled die set that I did here on the inside, just a little bit smaller. Added some more die cut images for that Thankful for You. Lots of options for this amazing folded origami flap card. As always, I love to know your favorites. Do me a favor, pop down right now in the comments. Will you do the portrait or the landscape format? Will you make it a full card base, or will you just keep the base nice and simple? I would love to know. And if you love being in the know, you're going to want to sign up for my free weekly e-newsletter. Head over to my website at lisastampstudio.com and just start scrolling. It'll pop right up for you. That's going to keep you in the know about free shipping promotions, new products, and of course, every week I'll keep you inspired. If you love exclusive card making ideas not shared anywhere else, I've got you covered with Stamp Studio memberships. There are 2 levels to choose from. Level 1 is just $5 for the entire month. And that tutorial includes pictures, cutting dimensions, supplies, and step-by-step instructions for a project I don't share anywhere else. The best part of all, it doesn't matter what country you live in, and if you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you're going to be happy to know that none of the photos of the tutorials are watermarked, so you're welcome to share them with others. And perhaps you're like me and you love fun fold cards, so level 2 at $10 for the whole month will get you everything in level 1, plus a tutorial once a month for a new fun fold card making idea. In addition to the tutorial, you're also going to receive a discount code for my PDF tutorial library and the opportunity to buy merchandise that we have designed. You'll find all the information over on my website in the red menu bar titled Memberships. You're not going to want to miss the online stamping retreat that's coming up in September. Head over to my website and click on online events for all the details. You'll also find lots of ways you can support me here on YouTube. If you have enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up, which is a like. It helps me immensely. And if you're new, I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss anything that's coming up. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.